Coyotes, I'm Kelly Jacome.
And I'm Brendan Sirianni.
Today on Cmstv, we will hear what teachers have to say about homework excuses.
What students think about school lunches.
And take you back to the power outage in September and see how you got through it.
Lastly, we have an important Halloween announcement for all you spirited coyotes.
So sit back,
pay attention,
because
Cmstv starts now.
Before we get started, here are a couple of announcements.
Red Ribbon Week started yesterday and will continue through Friday of this week.
Wear your pajamas tomorrow, Spirit Day wear on Wednesday, green and yellow, and on Friday wear your favorite sports team gear. Oh yeah, and on Monday don't forget to wear your costume for Halloween.
Cross country team is competing this Thursday, October 20th at Buena Vista Park in Vista. If you have the time, come on out and see our young athletes compete. The meet starts at 4:30 p.m.
This week, Drake and Brendan checked out what kids think about our school lunches. Take it away, guys.
We went out to see what people thought about the lunches.
What would you like to add to the menu?
Sushi. Burgers.
I like to add In-N-Out.
I would like to add a lot of popcorn or something.
I think they should add donuts.
Ice cream.
What would you like to change to the school lunch menu?
I hate the Galaxy pizza and the long pizza, and I don't like the pizzadas either. And maybe they can cut the really weird soft chicken nuggets.
Teriyaki chicken.
I do not like that the prices are so high.
I think we should be able to eat in more spaces.
What's your favorite lunch food?
My favorite lunch food is the chicken sandwich.
I like the orange chicken.
Pizza, the Surfside pizza, Ruffles, and Cheez-Its.
Teriyaki chicken.
School menu. The Surfside pizza on Wednesday.
This is Drake Benner from the Lunch Tables. Now back to the anchors.
Christian Club meets on Fridays during 7th and 8th grade advisory in room 109.
Our first news report is about homework excuses. So let's go to Emily Swarthout to see what teachers have to say about endless reasons why work doesn't get turned in.
What are some excuses that you get from students about forgetting their homework?
Well, the standard excuse is that my dog ate the homework, but I also have a student who said that my cat ate the homework and scratched it all up. I've also had my baby sister, she got in there and she chewed on it and slobbered on it, and so that I couldn't do the homework.
I did my homework, but I left it at home. Another excuse is, I was so busy doing my math homework, or I was doing my English homework, I was doing my social studies homework, and I couldn't get my Spanish homework done.
We had homework? Or my baby sister ate it, scribbled on it, something along those lines. And my favorite was, I left it in my dad's car and he moved to New York.
Excuses, there's so many. One that always seems to happen is students say they forgot, just completely forgot to do their work. Another one, a good one I always get, is my computer was broken. That seems to bring in some great reasons. Forgot my book at school. It was a partner project and my partner wasn't home. That's always a fun one. And that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of, yeah.
One of my favorite excuses is my mom forgot to pack it in my backpack for me. Another one I've gotten is my cat ripped it up. And then another one I can think of is I didn't get it, but I didn't come in to see you about it.
I'm Emily Swarthout reporting from Cmstv. Now back to the...
CHMS Drama presents Fall Drama Showcase, Wednesday, October 26th, 7 p.m. at Carlsbad Cultural Arts Center. Support your students, actors, and enjoy comedy, drama, world theater, and more.
Next we have CHSC Update. Let's see what's going on in the world of sports today.
Coyotes, I'm Gavin Roberts.
And I'm Dylan Tinley. Welcome to episode 3 of CHSC.
Today we'll take a look at the biggest hits from the 2011 NFL season.
Also, we take you to Miles Gross with the top 10 teams in college football.
The biggest series of them all, the World Series, has started. Representing the American League is two-time defending American League champions. They lost last year to the Giants in the World Series, but it's the Texas Rangers.
And from the National League, the astounding St. Louis Cardinals. They made it through the playoffs as the wild card. Now let's join Miles Graves as he reveals the top 10 teams in college football.
Thanks, guys. At number 10, we have the Oregon Ducks. At number 9 is the Arkansas Razorbacks. Number 8 is the Stanford Cardinal. The biggest surprise this year is the Clemson Tigers at number 7. At number 6 is the Wisconsin Badgers. Going into the top 5, number 5 is the Broncos of Boise State. At number 4 is the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Number 3 is the Oklahoma Sooners. Number 2 is the Alabama Crimson Tide. And at the top spot, the LSU Tigers. Now let's go back to Gavin.
Thanks, Miles. And before we leave today, we show you our picks for the top 5 hardest hits in the NFL so far. Enjoy. Must have hurt. So on that note, I'm Gavin Robertson.
And I'm Noah Tinley. Thanks for watching, and there's one more thing. CHSC's won an Oscar for being
Calavera Hills sports leader.
Yes, now let's send it back to Cmstv.
We will have minimum days this week due to parent-teacher conferences. Please check School Loop for the revised bell schedule.
Last month we had a power outage. Kristen went out to see how we got through one exciting time.
Some of you may have noticed the power went out Thursday, September 8 around 4 p.m. We went out to see what happened to you and a few of our teachers. Then we went in depth to see what really happened and what caused the power outage.
I was doing my homework.
The night of the power outage was my daughter's rehearsal dinner because she was getting married the next day on Friday.
Power failure. Last Thursday night in the afternoon, I was setting the timer on my oven for my son to do his reading log for 30 minutes. And as I set the timer, everything went off.
Doing homework. So I went over to my neighbors, ate dinner, and then went swimming.
I was at my mom's work, the animal keeper, when the blackout happened, and we had no generator, so everything went like completely dark, and it was already like 7. So there's a lot of dogs there like had heart failure or anything, and it started getting really super hot.
So I was down in San Diego, and the power went out. We had to go over to do the rehearsal, and we couldn't get up to the actual venue, which was on the 17th floor of a downtown building. So we had to do her rehearsal right in front of Petco Stadium on the cement.
And so, knowing it was a power failure, I figured it was just going to come back on, but it never did. And so by the time my family got home, we had already tried to get candles and a lantern or two from the garage to make sure that, you know, as it got darker, there wouldn't be a problem with us being able to get around the house.
Then came home, lit some candles, and went to bed.
We didn't know whether the power was coming on the next day. When there were reports it was coming on maybe later in the day, so my poor daughter is thinking her whole wedding might get called off.
So we ended up kind of having like a little camp out downstairs. We all went down there and we got a portable DVD player and watched a little movie in the dark.
You wouldn't have food made, you couldn't fix your hair, there wouldn't be curling irons.
I was like, oh, the power's out.
Dark, all looking at each other with cell phone lights, no food in the hotels.
So what we had to do is that we had to buy a generator, and it was like $1,000.
Not her.
So what we had to do, open up all the windows, get a lot of water out. But all the dogs are fine now, so it's okay.
Anyway, it's a story that she'll be able to tell, and we all rejoiced when the power came on down there at 1 o'clock in the morning.
And then when we woke up in the morning, the power had come back on.
The power outage really didn't happen on Thursday. An Arizona Public Service coworker was switching out a capacitor, which controls voltage levels near the California border, shortly after a section of the major regional power line failed. The lights began to go out in a border region of roughly 6 million people. The rest resolved in a gridlock, and 2 reactors at a nuclear power plant went offline. Sewage spilled into the ocean. The government says they could issue fines up to $1 million per day to cover for the damage. And that's what happened. This is Darcy reporting for Cmstv. Now back to the anchors.
6th graders, the deadline to turn in the pink camp forms and all payments is Monday, October 24th. Please see Mrs. Soper in the office if you have any questions.
Surf's up. Well, hopefully. Here's Surf Break Jake with today's surf forecast.
Surf Break Jake here at the weekly forecast. We're going to have an average of 2 to 3 feet. We might get some bigger waves or some small waves. Today the wind's 7 knots, and later in the week the wind will pick up. And finally, low tide today is at 2 p.m. with a 1 foot, and high tide is at 8:08 p.m. with a 5 foot high tide. I'm Surf Break Jake, and that's all for today, Coyotes. Whoa!
Lastly, before we go, here is a quick reminder from Mrs. LaBreche on what you can and cannot wear for Halloween.
We interviewed Ms. LaBreche on what the costume guidelines are for this year's Halloween.
The costume guidelines are the same as it would be for the dress code. Nothing too short, no underwear showing, etc. You're not allowed to bring weapons to school of any sort. Knives, guns, sickles, nothing like that. So those pieces can't be brought. We don't like a lot of blood and guts. Can't be advertising tobacco, alcohol, anything like that. Also, you can't have any sexual innuendos on your costume. So you got to keep it pretty straightforward. You can bring pieces to school, hats, helmets, masks, and put them on for the costume contest. But if you're a distraction in class, teachers will make you take them off. Your footwear needs to be school appropriate. You can bring it for the costume contest, but bring tennis shoes or such to wear during the day.
We interviewed students to see what they're going to be for Halloween.
I'm going to be a nerd. A pair of dice. Zombie.
I don't know what I'm going to be, but I'm going to try and be a guy with a sweater tied around his neck with superhero spray painted on the back of it.
I don't know what I'm going to be. I'm going to be Sammy. It's like so scary. I'm going to be a gypsy.
I'm going to be a ninja.
This is Mac Nurse reporting for Cmstv. Now back to the anchors.
Have a great week, Coyotes.
So see you next time for a special Halloween show.